So I want to go across on that. Question number one, Bharat-India debate. Should the government remove the name India from the constitution? Here is what respondents told Sea Voter in this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange. Yes, say 36% of the respondents. No, say 51% of the respondents. More than half the respondents very clear that India should not be removed from the constitution. Question number two, what should our country be called? Should it be called India? Should it be called Bharat? Should it be called India and Bharat? Here are the responses. 11% of the respondents saying it should be called India. 50% of the respondents there saying it should be called Bharat. 39% saying you can do an interplay of Bharat and India. It can be called either interchangeably. Why is the government trying to change the name? Is it because India is being used as the opposition alliance's name? 34% say yes, that's the case. 42% say no, that is not the case. So let me go across to our panelists and get initial comments from all of them. Rajdeep, I'll start with you. Interesting here. 50% of the respondents in this Sea Voter poll are already saying that Bharat should be the name of our country.
But Rahul, look at all the numbers you've given us. While you say 50% say that India should be called Bharat, 39% are saying the name should be used interchangeably, 11% are saying India. So then, and in your first question, when you asked whether India and Bharat, both these names can be used, or whether there should be a constitutional amendment, overwhelming, I think 51% said use both names. So the fact is, I think the poll is clearly showing, while Bharat may be a preferable name to India among 50%, an equal solid 50% have no problem with the name India. 11% say India over Bharat, but 39% say use them interchangeably, which to my mind reflects, in a sense, the fact that the India name also strikes a chord just as Bharat does. I mean, back it with your first, the responses to your first question. I think it's very simple, Rahul. The Article 1, subsection 1 is very clear. India, that is Bharat. Now, at best, you may want to change and reverse the order to Bharat, that is India. I don't see an issue either way. The fact is, both names can be used interchangeably, are being used interchangeably, and reflect in a way the plurality and diversity and the fact that the Constituent Assembly document was an essential compromise, wherein both ideas were accepted and embraced. And over time, I think there are enough people who are proud to be called Bharatiya and proud to be called Indian, as I certainly am. And I think that's what your poll reflects. Your poll reflects, according to me, Rahul, why I see this as a weapon of mass distraction. Really not an issue for a majority of the Indians. I think most Indians would be happy interchangeably using both names, as your survey seems to indicate.
Yashwant Deshmukh, I pick up mixed messaging on these responses. One, should the government remove India from the constitution? 51% are saying no. What should our country be called? Bharat, say 50%. How do you explain these two opposite reflexes which seem to be coming out of your poll?
Well, it's not opposite, actually. I think Rajdeep has kind of explained it very well in that way. I think majority of the Indians are just happy with both the names. It's more of a politically sensitive debate, in that way, and unnecessarily provocation and unnecessary controversy as well, whichever way one likes to look at it. However, there are, kind of undertones to what we are seeing. People are happy with India, people are happy with Bharat. If you want to really understand the very fine difference, I will take just a step further what Rajdeep tried to explain. We have always written India, that is Bharat. Probably the emotion is more like Bharat, that is India. If you really want to get into deep dive of that and understand where exactly the point of slight difference is and where exactly the similarity is. So primarily, Indians, big number resonate with both the names, but primarily they resonate with Bharat and then with India. So That's the only difference which I can
S.Y.
probably
Qureshi,
say.
how do you read this data? I'm coming to you, and we largely invited you for one nation, one election, but you have a sharp political take on everything. So I want your take on how do you read this before I get to one nation, one election.
Personally, I'm very comfortable because the constitution is very clear. India, that is Bharat, which means they are both the same thing. So, and as Rajdeep said, even if you reverse the order, it means the same thing. And in English, we have always been using India, and in Hindi, we have been using Bharat. Even in the constitution, it says, one article says, there will be a president of India. And its Hindi translation says that there will be Bharat ka Rashtrapati. So constitution recognizes both equally.
Okay. Syed Zafar Islam, we don't know for sure the reason behind calling the special session on the 18th of September. It is on the 18th of September 1949 that the name India was picked, and that's the time this Constituent Assembly debate was happening. But your sense of what the government actually intends to do, because you're getting a sense that yes, there is support for the use of the name Bharat, but people don't want to discard the name India either.
Well, I would say there is a rumor in everywhere that we are changing the name. Nobody is planning to change the name. At least we are not aware. It is all in the media that name is being it is being planned to change the name from India to Bharat, and only the country will be named only as Bharat, and India will be removed from the constitution. Such thing has not been discussed. It's not something which has been indicated. Rather, the spokesperson of the government have already clarified that it is rumor and no such action plan is from the government. Having said that, there is a definitely preference for Bharat. So, and we must use change our mindset of colonial mindset and use the name Bharat, and something which every Indian should be proud of. The more we use Bharat, the more it will get prominence, and the more people will use Bharat even outside the country.
Today, Mahima Singh, the government seems to be winning the Bharat argument.
India has two names.
Yeah, sure, because I spoke to Dr. Jaishankar in his first post-G20 interview, and he said there's a lot of chatter around Bharat, and a lot of countries appreciated the fact that, like Japan is Japan on the outside but Nippon inside, and so many other countries have different names. Ireland, Hungary, different names internally, externally. The difference between endonyms and exonyms. Pushing the use of the name Bharat is actually other countries seem to understand and appreciate.
Rahul, I think the timing tells the tale here. Here is a government which has been operating with a majoritarian mindset, and that is not a fact that is hidden from anybody. I think it's a widely known fact that this is a government with a majoritarian mindset, and they live in denial of the the other major chunk of the Indians which doesn't vote for the BJP. While the BJP may enjoy a fair vote share of above 35%, 36%, 37%, whatever, but there is another major chunk. India is going to represent 60%, the India alliance is going to represent 60% of the Indians, more than 60% of the Indians. But here is the BJP at the very juncture in time when we came together to name our alliance India. The BJP started.
Respond to this, Syed Zafar Islam. इससे पहले तो नहीं था कभी plan कि भारत का use करो, because you've been in power for 9+ years. You've suddenly pivoted towards Bharat because the opposition came up with the name India as the name of the alliance. If that hadn't happened, there wouldn't have been this sense of immediacy and urgency in wanting to now start pushing Bharat. They're saying, you have done this because we named our alliance India. Syed Zafar Islam.
Their Twitter handle is BJP for India, by the way.
Rahul, let me ask you first thing. Have we coined a new name? Is it part of the constitution?
But you're pushing it now much more than earlier.
Have we said that we are changing? No, let me just complete. I'm coming to that. We are using it. Yes, Bharat should be used, and G20 was a platform where you can reach the rest of the world, and the name Bharat can get prominence, something which you cannot do in isolation, that you cannot tell everyone. So there is an event has been fully utilized to propagate the name of Bharat. And Bharat is now known to every other country in the world. And that is something which the government has done it. And you should appreciate the government's intention that Bharat is the actual name of the India. That should be known to the people of the world, not only India. What has been given by the colonial mindset of has been accepted by the colonial mindset at that point in time. So we always only took the opportunity, utilized this opportunity of G20 to propagate this name, let the people of the world know that India has two names.
Okay,
Bharat,
let's now come to one nation, one election.
By the people of this
Maima,
country.
20 seconds because I need to keep the needle moving quickly.
Sure, you see BJP for India, numeric Roman number 4, and then India, that is their Twitter handle. Hypocrisy at its best when the BJP cries foul today for the name India, and then they say, where have we changed? Look at the visuals on your screen right now. They have changed it. They have all the intent, and they're already exercising.